I would tell Pete Alonso, zoom out, my man. You got a great thing going. You've had a great thing going for 6 years. You're one of the best home run hitters in the last 6 years in this game. And when you're talking about names like Ohtani and Judge and Alonso being in that top four, you're talking about you're one of the best in the business. Go act like it tonight, man, and go get them. That's what I would say.
And I'm in love with the good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life.
Boom! Coming in hot, Chichi. What's going on, brother?
What does our T-shirt say today? Pork roll, Springsteen, Miracle League. Are those three of Sean Casey's favorite things?
Who doesn't love a good pork roll, Bruce Springsteen, and the Miracle League baseball fields? You know, I love it. Miracle League of the South Hills. This one's Miracle League of Mercer County. My man, Dan Schweck, who's a great dude, runs the Miracle League out there. And he came to my golf classic like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, Case, any chance you could wear this shirt on the podcast? I'm like,
There you go.
if you're listening to the podcast and watching the podcast, Danny, we're going to wear your shirt. That's how we do it here at the Miracle League. And we got our Melon hat on, too. So,
I got one of my Melon hats on. I got two more Melon hats over here, dude.
dude, I didn't get that green Melon hat. They must like you more than they like me.
I got this on my own before they were our sponsors.
Oh, really? Dude, they're great. They're really great hats, man. Actually, great hats.
They are. All right. We are in the thick of it, man. We are in the thick of the postseason. This is what it's all about.
Okay.
We are starting today with the one game left. Everybody else is done. But what an ending to that game in Mets in Milwaukee last night. And now the pressure is on the Mets. Let's start there. And then we're going to get into one
I almost think it's on isn't it on the Brewers?
Okay.
I don't know, because the Brewers haven't moved. They've been getting to the postseason a lot in the last few years, and they don't move on. So I think there's some pressure on the Brewers. I really do. The pressure on the Brewers to not just get to the postseason, but to advance. I don't think they've advanced past the division series in a long time, but they've been in the mix every year. So I think there's definitely some pressure on the Brewers. I don't know if there's a ton of pressure on the Mets, Chinch. I don't even know if they were supposed to be here. Obviously, they've been one of the best teams these last 4 months in the game, maybe the best in the last 3 months, 3.5 months. But, I think they're playing. I think the Mets are playing with house money. They get in the last day of the year. They win the first game of this series. So if the Mets win, they're still playing with house money. I really think the pressure's more on the Brewers. They haven't advanced in years, and they've won the division year after year. So, I think there's definitely some pressure on Pat Murphy and the boys out there in Milwaukee.
That's a great take. I hadn't put it that way. But I do think you will agree with me on this. If there is one player who the pressure is on in this series more than anybody else, his name is Pete Alonso. And I'm going to give you a couple stats, and then I have a question to pose to the mayor, Sean Casey, here. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, Pete Alonso, over the past 5 years, only 3 other guys have hit more home runs than Pete Alonso, and it's Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and Kyle Schwarber. However, Sean, Pete Alonso is in a polar bear power outage right now, dude. He has not only not hit a home run since the 18th of September, he doesn't have an extra base hit since the 18th of September. His contract is up after this season. We don't know where he's going to go. We don't know if he's going to stay. And tonight kind of tells you how much money he's going to have for the rest of his life, where he's going to live for the rest of his life. Sean Casey is locked in on mental performance, how to get ready, how to prepare yourself to succeed. So I ask you, Sean, right now, put yourself in the mind of Pete Alonso going into tonight, and how are you preparing for this game?
You got to zoom out, Chinch. You got to zoom out. I think what happens is when you struggle in baseball, you struggle in life, you get that coffee. I like to call it the coffee straw perspective. You're like, oh my God. You start living in your fears. You start living in that scarcity mentality. Man, I haven't got an extra base hit for so long. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen if this is my last game with the Mets? Am I going to be here next year? That's all irrelevant. Zoom out. At the end of the day, you're one of the luckiest people on the face of the earth. You're Pete Alonso. You're one of the greatest home run hitters of this generation. You are have been a Met for life. If this is your last game with the Mets, you've been there 6 years. Those fans have loved you. You've loved New York. There is no pressure here. at the end of the day. Like, and I think too, like a little tension's good. No pressure, no diamonds, right? At the end of the day. So like pressure, you know, you're really looking for focus is what you're looking for. So like pressure with a nice deep breath gets you focused. So I would tell Pete Alonso, hey man, step back, zoom out. Be grateful for where you're at, what you've done in your career, and go out tonight in game 3 and take a deep breath and feel that little tension that you have, because that's your body telling you we're preparing you to play. Take a deep breath. That's going to get you focused. And go out there and get a big hit tonight out there. Go out there and drive a ball out of the ballpark. Go out there and get an extra base hit or hit with a couple guys on base and keep your career going with the Mets. You know, that's what I would say to Pete Alonso. Zoom out, man. Don't let it be so that coffee straw perspective where everything's zoomed in. Because when we zoom in on life, we're living in that part of our brain, that amygdala part where you're fearful, where that scarcity mentality, the nervousness, the tension, everything speeds up on us, right? You know, you got to play this game and you got to play life slow. You got to play this game of life and the game of baseball in a relaxed state. You got to find a way to do that. So I would tell Pete Alonso, zoom out, my man. You got a great thing going. You've had a great thing going for 6 years. You're one of the best home run hitters in the last 6 years in this game. And when you're talking about names like Ohtani and Judge and Alonso being in that top 4, you're talking about you're one of the best in the business. Go act like it tonight, man, and go get them. That's what I would say.
Wow, I'm in. And you used the word amygdala.
Hey, it's the truth, man. It's the truth. Listen, Chinch, I'm going to tell you one more thing. And I'm talking to Pitt baseball today, and this is, you know, one of the messages that I'm kind of bringing to them today. You know, we're doing Breakthrough Pro today, and it's on gratitude. And I want to say, hey, you want to be tough in baseball? You want to be tough in life? You want to be dangerous? Get grateful. And why do I say that? Because you have 60,000 thoughts a day, dude. 60,000 thoughts. Think about this. And 80% of them are negative. You live in that negative bias. And the reason it is because your brain is in for survival. Your brain is in for one job, to keep you safe and to keep you in survival, mode, right? But that's also the mode that like, why are we all such procrastinators? Why do we all, I'm just going to hang out and do this? Because your brain's telling you, you're good, dude. Don't worry about that. Don't get into a place where like anything dangerous can happen. We're just trying to keep you survived, trying to keep you alive. Well, guess what? The reason we're a human being is because of the prefrontal cortex. That's why we're not an elephant. That's why we're not a giraffe. That's why we're not a monkey, right? They're not creating spaceships to go to up to Mars. They're not creating houses to live in. They're not creating Zoom calls to get on and all this stuff, right? That's what makes you a human being, is the prefrontal cortex. Guess what? It takes some toughness to sit down every day for a gratitude journal. It takes some toughness to think about things that you love in your life and that you appreciate, because that's in the prefrontal cortex is where abundance lives, where gratitude lives. It's where courage lives. It's where commitment lives, accountability, all that stuff. So like, that's tough to do, is to get into that. And people say, oh, the gratitude thing. Yeah, the gratitude thing. 20% of your thoughts live in that realm. And fight for that 20%. That's a lot harder than the 80% of doing what everyone else does. Oh, this is just the way it is. That's who I am. This is how I think. It's not true. And if that's the case, then you're going to have that like fearful mentality. Like, no, work on being grateful. Work on zooming out. Work on seeing your life in a bigger realm. Work on the fact that you're one of one. Work on the fact that like the odds of you being here are 1 in 420 trillion. Work on the fact that you have 100,000 heartbeats today, 25,000 breaths you're going to take. And all I'm saying is, whatever that is, whatever that gift is of life, that gift, lean into that and enjoy that. Because the easy part is just to get into poopy pant land and be like, well, you know what? It's just the way it is, and this is the way my brain works. Like, yeah, get a little tougher and start leaning into gratitude and zoom out effect, and that's going to change everything.
I love it. Come for the baseball, stay for the lessons in life and neurology.
That's true, man.
There. That's great
It's
stuff.
true.
That's
It's
the way
true,
it is.
man.
Dude,
It's true.
look at the other side of the field. Jackson Chourio, he's just a 20-year-old kid playing a game. And look at the success he's having.
Dude.
Because all he cares about is, I want to have fun today, right? Kind of in a way.
Dude, and listen, The guy got paid last year or this year. They gave him $70 million. They saw the talent. Comes up last 2 big home runs yesterday. A big one in the 8th to tie it. You know what I mean? And then our man Garrett Mitchell comes up and hits a 2-run bomb. You don't think Garrett Mitchell's playing zoomed out when he talked to us? Hey, when I go up to the box, there's a lot of gratitude when you can say, I'm him. I'm him. And I'm in a big situation. I'm going to have some fun. I'm looking for a pitch to hit, and I'm going to hit it. You know why? Because it's tension-free, dude. When you start playing zoomed out, you start playing with a bigger purpose. You're not just a baseball player when you're on that field. There's so much more. You're a son. You could be a father. You're maybe an uncle to somebody. You're a friend. All this stuff. You're on baseball, dude. You're playing with house money. You're in the big leagues, dude. Are you kidding me? This is incredible. You're one of the luckiest people on the planet Earth. 20,000 people have played this amazing game in the last 150 years. And my point is, when you start to look at it that way, that's when you're dangerous, bro. Because all of a sudden you're like, I'm playing free. I got a great life. Let's go get somebody. We think we need to play this rah, 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 rah. You don't play baseball that way. You might play football that way, but baseball, you better have some sort of perspective, because if you do, you play so many games. If you do, now hitting a baseball, hey, man, this is fun. Let's have some fun out here. It's called play ball, not work ball, right? They say play ball. They don't say, hey, let's go work ball. You know what I mean? And if you do that, the results will be there. Do you understand? Because people be, oh, well, if you go to gratitude, no, dude, it's tougher to get there. Now I'm dangerous. I'm a better player in that state because I'll play the game with purpose. And if you play with purpose, that's different than just thinking this at bat's life or death. Right. You're playing tension. You're playing scared. Guess what, dude? You'll be out of the game before you know it.
Case, what's that lid you got on right there?
Dude, you kidding me? It's my favorite hat. You know me, Chinch. I'm a hat snob, dude. I really am. This is my new Melon hat. I've had it for a few months now, dude. It's incredible. It's super comfortable. The one thing I love about it, too, sometimes you wear hats all the time. They get those sweat stains. This hat doesn't get a sweat stain. It's got unbelievable comfort fitting. It fits perfectly with the snapback on the back. It's 5 times more durable, I think, than any other hat I've ever had. So, man, this hat's incredible. The Melon hat, man. You got to get a couple of these, brother. Yeah, dude, I've heard about them. It's like the most premium, durable headwear in the whole world. And, people use them for tailgating, working out on a golf course. You're going golfing later today, heading out for date night with Sarah. You throw the Melon cap on, right? Am I right? I wear it for everything, dude. The only thing I can't wear it to is premium restaurants where they're like, okay, you got to take your hat off. So other than that, I'm wearing my Melon hat pretty much everywhere. Dude, it's my new favorite hat. I've been wearing my Melon hat for the past few months straight, dude. No sweat stains, what I said, no smell. Looks the same as the day I took it out of the box. I get a ton of compliments on it every time I wear it. It's even better. They have different options for different weather. If it's warm out or you might be jumping in the pool, lake, or ocean, you need their Hydro Collection, bro. The Hydro Collection is next level, Chinch. You'd love that. But when it gets cold and you need to stay warm, don't worry, brother. Melon has you covered there as well. They have a full thermal collection with different levels of warmth to keep you on whatever you need for when the winter's coming up, brother. Big time. Nice. So if you're looking for hats as tough as you, my man, check out Melon. You won't wear anything else after you get one on for yourself. And I know I've been loving my Melon. Yeah, listen to Sean Casey, folks. If you're looking for the world's most durable hat, look no further. Go to melon.com. That's MELIN.com and put it to the test yourself. Yes. Yeah, dude, we saw a perfect example of that, playing almost for the greater good and being part of the team rather than focusing on I need to go 3 for 4 today. We saw it yesterday with one of the best players in baseball, Bobby Witt Jr. We talk about him beating out that ball, but the Vinny Pasquantino, is it Vinny Pasquantino? Yeah, Vinny Pasquantino. Vinny Pasquantino gets that RBI. What we haven't talked about, you and I didn't enough, Bobby Witt sacrificed his at-bat. The at-bat before that, ball in on his hands with a runner on second base, and he literally pushed it with his fists to second base to get that base runner over to third. Pasquantino gets the big hit after that, and that's what you're talking about, right? The great and good, having a plan, knowing that it's not just about you. I'm playing for my team. I'm playing to win this game, and then you have success. And then later on, he has the game-winning RBI. Yeah, the zoom-out mentality. The bottom line is we got to get him over to get him in. It's the service. It's the thought process. Next man up. Looking at that guy next to you, say, I love this guy. I'm playing for this guy next to me. That's why being a good teammate is probably one of the most important things you can do. Because if you're playing for the guy next to you, all of a sudden you get a guy over like that to win a ball game, And guess what? You're playing for those fans in Kansas City too that love the Royals, that are locked into their TVs, that their kids are all around the couches watching those games. Like, yeah, that's a big deal. You're playing for more than just yourself. And if you zoom out like that, you're going to have more success. And another thing with Bobby Witt Jr., listen, I know Bobby Witt Jr., know his dad. Their faith's a big part of their life. And at the end of the day, you talk about purpose, he's playing for a greater purpose too. And it shows with his game of almost winning the MVP this year. Like, it's a bigger reason for, he's playing a lot of it. He's playing for, his faith. He's playing for his teammates, and he's playing for that city of Kansas City.
I love it. A lot of players playing for the city of San Diego, which, by the way, you don't think is a baseball town. Go look at that stadium last night. Holy moly, they blow it up in there. And I'm sorry, dude, if I were a betting man, I'm most afraid of the San Diego Padres right now as we're moving forward. They are locked in, and they have everything you need for tournament-style baseball.
Yeah, I look at that team, and I just, we said it before this series started. We're like, the Padres are dangerous. They're going to win this first round. There's no doubt about it. You just look top to bottom, that lineup, the way Machado's swinging it. Tatis looks locked in. He looks like a little kid out there. Arise is dangerous. Even Bogey and you go through that whole lineup. I mean, that lineup top to bottom is legit. And you look at the rotation. I think Michael King sitting at the top there. That guy's a star. Mm-hmm. Now you got a couple days. He's going to be able to line up good, in the next series. But the Padres are good, man, and it's going to be interesting to see in that next round. You got the Padres versus the Dodgers. And I think that's the series we wanted to see, because if you go back to the regular season, they almost caught the Dodgers at the end. They almost caught the division.
Yep.
So the Padres are playing some great baseball. They're also hot. There's something to be said about playing these two games and being hot going into Saturday. The Dodgers haven't played in 6 days. So it's just going to be a great series, man. The Padres are a really good team. I think they're one of the most dangerous teams in this tournament right now.
I agree with that. Now, let's go keep your mental approach hat on now. You got Bryce Harper and the Phillies. You got Aaron Judge and Soto and the Yankees. You got the big three and Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman should be okay, they're saying, and Mookie Betts with the Dodgers, and they're just sitting there. They're just sitting there, chomping at the bit right now. You were on Golic, the Golic father and son show this morning, and they asked you a question saying, like, these guys are just sitting and waiting and not doing anything. And who has more pressure on them right now? The Dodgers, the Yankees? I don't think the Phillies. We're not talking about the Phillies like we're talking about the Dodgers and the Yankees right now, right?
No, I don't. You know what? I think the biggest thing is the Yankees didn't make the postseason last year. So the pressure on them is not to make the postseason. The pressure on them is to win the World Series. And they haven't won the World Series since 2009. I think there's pressure on them. They got Soto in that lineup. They obviously want to keep him going long term. You got Judge. Judge's the best player in the world, I believe. In that rotation, it lines up well right now. Cole's pitching well. Rodon's pitching well. Clark Schmidt's pitching well. However that sets up, with the bullpen, seems like Weaver closing. It just seems like the Yankees are set up good. I must admit, though, this 6 days off, I don't love. I don't love seeing these guys sitting there for 6 days as far as rhythm and timing goes. But I think the biggest pressure outside of New York winning the World Series is the $1 billion that the Dodgers spent on two dudes. Like, let's not forget that they spent $700 million on Ohtani and $300 and some million on Yamamoto. There's pressure there. Mm-hmm. Like, you're gonna spend that kind of money. Like, you got to win championships. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think there's definitely pressure there on those guys. And also, too, Freddie Freeman. It looks like he's going to be okay. But, dude, he twisted his ankle pretty good, right at the end of the year there. So a lot of questions. But, man, this is going to be fun. This is the best time of year for baseball. We're all locked in to see, what happens. But the matchups that we're getting, I think that's going to be a great matchup, too. The Royals against the Yankees, the Guardians in Detroit. We're talking about, there you go. They got the Central lined up right there. The Tigers are trying to catch the Guardians, couldn't do it. They got a shot. They get a shot 1-on-1 in the cage to see what happens. Phillies could have the Mets or the Brewers, but wouldn't that be something? It was Phillies, Mets, second round, and then you got San Diego. You got division rivals in this first, in the first division series. So it's gonna be awesome.
I have a chance. Should I? The Mets are having a watch party at Citi Field tonight. Should I go?
Is Jess going?
Of course, she's gone.
Well, then you should go. Why wouldn't you go? It's gonna be fun. Although if you lose, it's gonna be a depressing ride home.
All right.
And you're a Yankee fan in your blood. Is your blood changing towards a little blue and?
No, my blood is changing to whatever keeps it in my body for not upsetting my wife. So, so look, if it's, I just honestly, the whole world would like to probably see Mets Yankees Subway Series. That might be my biggest nightmare. It might be. I mean, of course, I'm rooting for both teams. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm a New Yorker, man.
Yeah. Now you're a New Yorker. You can just be a New Yorker.
In New York. Maybe I'll get one of those things that like moms of players get on two different teams. I'll get like a half Yankee, half Met jersey.
Yeah. So good.
All right, brother. Have an awesome day today, man. You're going out. You're talking to the Yinzer kids at Pittsburgh today.
Yeah, got the University of Pitt baseball team today. I'm looking forward to locking up with those guys. Great guys, man. The head coach, Mike Bell, there, put his trust in us with the Breakthrough Pro. We're excited to bring that. We think it's one of the best programs in the world to those guys. And, it's awesome. So JD and I are heading down there in a little bit and getting it rolling. Then we'll be watching some postseason baseball. What time's that game on tonight? I'm sure it's prime time.
No, you got it's a good day for you to
7:00.
Yeah, 7:00. No day baseball yet. It's coming back.
Okay, great.
All right, man. Have a great.
There'll be day baseball though this week on Saturday, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna keep going. It comes back next after the series.
Yeah, Tigers Guardians 1:00. Let's get it.
There you go. All right, brother.
All right, man. All right, Chichi. Have a great day, brother. Everyone out there, have an incredible day. And thanks for listening to us, and we'll catch you tomorrow.